Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news of this afternoon, St. Catherine man stabbed to death. A St. Catherine man who was stabbed on Friday by another man with whom he reportedly had a dispute has died. He has been identified as Damien Lawrence, otherwise called a trainer, of a Portmore address. Reports are that about 6:15 p.m., Lawrence was on Dawkins Drive in Portmore when he was attacked and stabbed by the man. He was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries on Saturday. The Waterford Criminal Investigation Branch is probing the incident. 1 dead, 2 injured in St. Mary shooting. 1 man is dead and 2 others injured following a shooting in Galena, St. Mary, early Sunday morning. The deceased has been identified as 49-year-old Rudolph Beckford, a truck driver of a Galena address. A 35-year-old bartender and a 52-year-old taxi operator were also shot and injured during the attack. Both were transported to the Portmore Hospital for treatment. The Portmore Criminal Investigation Branch is probing the incident. Police probe death of St. Elizabeth farmer found dead under fallen tree limb. The St. Elizabeth police are investigating the death of a farmer whose body was found pinned beneath a fallen tree limb in Balaclava on Saturday. He has been identified as 32-year-old Ricardo Samuels of Newtown district in the parish. Passers-by reportedly stumbled upon Samuel's body in Eden Black River about 12:30 p.m. The body was reportedly lying on its back with a tree limb across the chest and the neck. A chainsaw was found beside his right side. The police were summoned and upon arrival processed the scene before removing the body to the Black River Hospital, where death was confirmed. A post-mortem is to be conducted to determine the cause of death. Gains wiped out, from 20% decline to 4% increase in road fatalities. The police at the start of April were taking credit for a big 20% reduction in road fatalities they attributed to decline to, among other things, stepped-up enforcement of the new Road Traffic Act with its much tougher penalties for traffic breaches. On March 31, the Island Traffic Authority reported the 20% decline in road deaths when compared to the corresponding period in 2024. It represented 20% fewer deaths as at March 21. At that time, 80 people had been killed in 74 fatal crashes, with fatal crashes recording a 15% decline. At that time, 22 motorcyclists, 19 pedestrians, 20 private motor vehicle drivers, and 8 passengers of private motor vehicles were numbered among the dead. There were also 4 pillion passengers and 3 pedal cyclists who were killed. Fast forward to Friday, July 25, and the daily crash statistics released by the ITA show that these gains have been completely wiped out. As of last Friday, 223 people had been killed in 192 fatal crashes since the start of the year. The ITA said fatalities increased by 4%, 8 more deaths when compared to prior year, while fatal crashes increased by 2%. The number of motorcyclists killed has jumped to 60, representing 27% of the overall fatalities since the start of the year. Private motor vehicle drivers now account for 46 deaths and 21% of the fatalities. Pedestrian deaths have moved from 19 to 41, or 18%, while private motor vehicle passenger deaths have skyrocketed from 8 to 39, or 17% during the period. The ITA said pedal cyclists now account for 23 deaths, or 6%, pillion passengers account for 10 deaths, or 4%, and the public passenger vehicle passengers account for 5 deaths, or 2% of the overall fatalities since the start of the year. 2 drivers of public passenger vehicles perished in road crashes this year. They make up 1% of the death toll. Meanwhile, vulnerable road users such as pedestrians, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists, and pillion passengers combined for 56% of the fatalities so far this year. Males account for 84%, while females account for 16% of those killed on the nation's roads this year. Curiosity about a bullet leads to $50,000 fine. A woman who told the court she kept a stray bullet because she was curious what was inside was fined $50,000 after pleading guilty to unauthorized possession of ammunition. According to court documents, 29-year-old Kishana Stenneth was entering the venue of a music event in Montego Bay when her handbag was searched by security personnel. Inside, they discovered a single round of ammunition. When cautioned by police, Stenneth explained that she had found the bullet along Roehampton Road in St. James and decided to keep it out of curiosity. "I wanted to show my friends," she reportedly told the cops at the scene. In court, presiding judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton sought to understand the woman's motive. "What drove you to keep this gunshot?" the judge asked after the facts were outlined. "Curiosity, Your Honor," Stenneth responded earnestly. "I picked it up, looked at it, and then dropped it in my handbag." The judge pressed further. "So what other curiosity did you need to satisfy?" "I wanted to know what was inside it," Stenneth replied. But the judge was not moved by the explanation, reminding the court that ammunition possession is a serious offense regardless of intent. She imposed a fine of $50,000 or failing that, 30 days imprisonment. St. Thomas police probing reported break-in at home of PNP's Hubert Williams. The St. Thomas police have launched an investigation into a reported break-in at the residence of councillor and a caretaker candidate for Western St. Thomas, Hubert Williams. The news has been informed that early Thursday morning, an intruder, who is allegedly an activist for Mr. Williams' opponent, entered his yard and was seen at the car of the MP aspirant. An alarm was raised and the intruder reportedly ran from the premises, entered a car and sped off. A team from the St. Thomas police, who were quick on the scene, searched the premises but found nothing. The caretaker candidate told the news that he is now fearful for his life.
He was trespassing and possibly there to do other things. Jamaica, I'm scared. I call the police come, they ward the property, they didn't find anything, but I'm going to do further search, more detailed search, because I'm really worried because these people, they want to damage my good name.
Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.